Welcome, one and all. Model Officer is back online at last. Happy New Year to everybody. Sorry I've been a bit quiet the last few months. Been quite busy with a few bits and pieces, as you can imagine. So, yeah, it is what it is. But, yeah, we'll just carry on as normal, like nothing happened. So the purpose of tonight is to catch up with all the bits and pieces that are going on. I'm going to wait a little bit and see who joins us and have a look at the chat at the moment. Mark Shellard says, saying good evening, everyone. Hi, Mark. Thanks for being with us. Scotty is there. Hi, Scotty. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I know you're heading off to work very shortly, so thanks for that. For those of you who don't know, Scotty is our new group builds expert, one and only. So, yeah, he's taking the reins in the mess for the group builds, and that's really good. Hopefully my face isn't too fuzzy for you. It might be my eyes, but I could be wrong. Anyway, who's in next? So Dave's in. Say good evening all. Good evening, Dave. There's 8 people watching, so make sure you say hello, just like Ian just did. Hi Ian. Good evening, everybody. How are you, mate? You all right? Good. As I say, I'm just going to leave it a little while, see if anyone else joins us in the chat. I don't want to rattle on too quickly. So anyway, how was your Christmas? How was your New Year? How's the? You know, it's nearly February. So how has your first month of the New Year been? It's been okay for me. It's been difficult in a few bits and pieces. Mojo's back. I'm glad to say. Finished the Moosearoo build. And one of the things which I need to mention, which I should have mentioned really at the top, is welcome to the Twitch channel as well. We are streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Twitter is under the Sprue Box logo. And if you didn't know already, last year I madly went down the road of starting an internet scale model store. Selected bits, slowly building up. Got loads of things planned for this year. Hopefully we'll get there. Facebook user says, good evening, James. I'm not quite sure who that is because I haven't got you on the screen. So if you are on Facebook, can I just remind you, please, to give your permission to StreamYard to show your name in the comments. And the same with Twitcher. If you're watching on Twitcher, make sure you give your permissions to say hello. And that is Mark. Mark is there. Mark Ewing, of course. Thank you, Mark. Glad you could be with us. Yeah, I'm just looking at the other screen because I'm trying to keep up with what's going on as well. Madness. So, yes, so evening, Mark, indeed. So, yes, Twitcher. Why Twitcher? I hear you shout. Or maybe you didn't. Twitcher's something I've wanted to play with for a little while. There's not a lot of scale modelling shows and stuff on Twitcher. And the Sprue Box is going to do some reviews. I'm going to do some reviews for Sprue Box. Coming kits are around, and other stuff, but I won't believe it right now. So we've got that all planned, and that will come eventually. And we're going to build that up over time because Twitcher is something which I want to use for next year. So I need to build that up over this year. That's the plan. So more to do with that later. So anyway, we're almost 10 minutes in. I'm going to leave these a couple more minutes. There are a few more people popping in and out, and I don't want to miss you. So if you are joining us, please make sure you say hello in the comments, and I can read you out and say hello. So we're not being ignorant. So yeah, like I say, we're just going to literally go over a few bits and pieces this evening. What's coming up in the mess? The birthday bash, of course. Hoping it's going to be even bigger and more spectacular than it was last year. But we'll talk about that in a minute. So, and there's another guy. Barbarossa Models is saying, good evening, James. Good evening, mate. How you doing? Thanks for joining us. And thanks for taking the time to put a message on there as well. Yeah, remember, do thumbs up on the video and all that sort of stuff helps the channel analytics. But, you know, I'm not going to moan too much. I don't care. Really. It'll do what it does. So yeah, so why don't we kick off with a little explanation of what's going on in the mess in relation to the group builds. Just come up to 10 minutes, so I think we can start with what we're here for, really. So we'll have a look at what we did last year. Last year we did the usual, lots of different group builds, 3-month builds, a year-long build, and obviously the birthday bash. And the birthday bash, can't complain, it was a complete success. We raised well over the money that we wanted to raise. So big thank you to everybody that got involved with that and the donations. I know Malcolm and the beneficiaries at Models for Heroes really appreciate the effort that we put in and those donations, of course. So that was a good success. The calendar this year, or last year rather, success, not a problem. Got right early on top of it. All went out. I had one person that was having difficulty with the delivery, but we've got around that. That's all been solved. So that's brilliant. Now, obviously, the one thing I did do was the mug. Now, we were going for a travel mug last year. And I thought if we get in nice and early, get it all sorted, it'll be nice and smooth. But oh my God, no, it wasn't. The end of 2021 was a bit of a nightmare in relation to getting things in and all that sort of jazz. So unfortunately, it was scrapped at the last minute, which is a bit of a shame because I know people were quite interested in it and wanted to be a part of that. So yeah, so apologies for that, but I scrapped it purely because it wasn't working the way I wanted it to. I couldn't get the physical travel mug I wanted, and I believe I'm right in saying the supplier that I had earmarked for it has still not had delivery from China of the mugs. So I'm glad I did what I did, but obviously I feel I've let you down a bit. I feel I've let Models Heroes down a little bit as well, because obviously I've not been able to involve that into what we generated. So I haven't given the donation yet. I'm going to work that out in the next couple of days, and I'll put a post up to explain exactly what was generated. Everyone's got a refund for the mugs, so that's all gone back out, so we should all be square. I've just got a bit of calculating to do when we're up and running. So yeah, so I'm sorry for that. This year we will do the calendar at the end of the year, but the reason I've done all that waffling is because the one thing that I found, I don't know about you, but I found, was the group builds didn't really work as well as I wanted them to throughout the year, and most certainly from the half mark of the year as well. Just didn't want to do what I wanted it to do, and by the end of the year, to be honest, I probably was as deflated as everybody else with it. So they didn't do very well. So that's why we enlisted the help of a volunteer, and that is Scott. Scott has put together a package for this year, which I'm really pleased with the way he's going about it. It's a little bit different to what we've done before, but realistically, I think everybody can get involved. So yeah. So the idea is this. I'll go through the group builds. So the group builds for this year are, the categories are aviation, armor, sci-fi and fantasy and space, a miscellaneous section which is lumping dioramas, naval, figure and automotive and military and civilian, I guess, in that. That's all one category. We've actually got a youth build this year, so anyone that you know that is between 5 and 15 and is a budding starter of model making, get them involved, them up for it, because that's really important to us too. And then of course, Model of the Year contest. So what we'll do with the Model for the Year is that obviously all, like always, all the categories will be mingled together, so all the winners will go into that category. Now I haven't spoken to Scott about this yet, but I think what we may do is we may actually we're obviously going to do the banners as we normally do. Thankfully Facebook have rectified their error with the way the banner was on the page and gone back to sort of how it was, which is much better, I think. Gives us the ability to use that anyway. So we're still going to do the banners. The first banner goes up tomorrow, funny enough. So last Tuesday of the month is your chance to put up your best build for that month. So what you built in that period. Now I need to stipulate that because there was a couple of questions throughout last year of, I built this however long ago, can I enter it? And the upshot answer is no. It's meant to be the best builds of the year, so the best builds that you've made. I mean, there's over 2,000 plus members of the mess, and you're all building and completing models, so that's where they should be going into that. It's how you feel, the best build that you've made. And then obviously we've got our 48-hour build. Now, we'll do the 48-hour build in a minute, but the group build. So the way the rules work this year are slightly different. Nice and easy though, very simplified. So obviously the kit must not be started and must be completed in the period of the group builds. You need to snap a picture and upload it to the appropriate album on the mess, Model Officers Mess page. Albums have been created, and we're asked for 3 reveal pictures for the end build. I'm reading it as I'm talking, so forgive me. Now what I like you to do a little album to show us the progress of the build from start to finish. So a picture of it not started, a few pictures of how you go through it, maybe a couple of explanations of things in which you've done that you don't normally do, so other people can learn from the experience as well. And then obviously your end pictures. But then there is a final reveal album, which they're all up and running ready for you to put your 3 pictures in. Now, the group build starts on the 1st of February, so tomorrow, funnily enough, and will run to the end of September, so September the 30th at midnight GMT time. So all the builds, all group builds, so that's aviation, armor, sci-fi, space, fantasy, the miscellaneous, put in the dioramas, naval figures, automotive, and the youth builds, all of those are running from tomorrow, the 1st of February, all the way through to September the 30th. So you've got loads of time to make your builds. You can start it now, or rather tomorrow, or you can start it next month, or you can start it beginning of September, whichever. Everybody's got the opportunity then to enter into something. So with the aviation, the categories, they are literally what they are. So anything that flies is aviation. Armor, anything that's armored. Sci-fi, space, and fantasy is one group. So that's exactly what it is. There's no stipulation on the scale or anything other than every build must fit into one of those categories. Scott's made it so simple for us, right? Really simple. Roger Mullers is there saying, "Hey up, bud." Hey Steph, how you doing? Thanks for joining us. Thanks for putting a comment in. Yeah, so that is the idea. So that makes it really easy for the group builds. I know for a fact that you're members of other groups. I am too, not a problem. And they have group builds, and maybe you want to enter their group builds on a specific thing, but you want to enter that into our group builds. Absolutely fine, no problem. As long as you started it from tomorrow, the 1st of February, and finish it up before midnight on the 30th of September, done. It's that easy. Cool, right? I think Scott's going to be a real big boost for us all. He's going to be popping in the promotion of the group builds and stuff. He is learning because this is the first time he's been thrown in the deep end. So errors will happen, etc., like we all do anyway. We're human, so be gentle on him. He's trying his best, and he's done a cracking start. So thank you, Scotty. And also the one thing in which I really want to promote this year is the youth side of things. I want to try and get a lot more youth in the group. Now, obviously, that will bring its own little traumas and stuff from time to time, maybe. But also will make us all be a little bit more wary of what we say and how we say it. So just be aware of that when you look at the posts. We don't give criticism within the group unless it's asked for. But it's criticism that's productive if it is asked. So, and I apologise because my camera seems to be having a right old moment. So I'll adjust that. That's fine. That should stop that. Yeah, so that's our main focus for this year, is to build the group a little bit bigger. I mean, obviously we're a big group. We've got over 2,000 members and building. But the more we can get involved, etc., it would be absolutely fantastic. And that is the goal for Scotty. I've set him a target. I've asked him to increase the group through what he does. So he's got to be focused on the group to make sure it expands. And the youth side of things, we really must try and promote that a bit more, because I know there are budding sons and daughters and grandchildren of our model makers that are here. So why not involve them? There you go. Ross Medlock is jumped in. Said good evening, Ross. Great you're here. Thanks for putting a message up. So yeah, so that is the idea with the group builds. It's a simple process, and there shouldn't be any traumas for you guys to put your entries in. So that's cool. Now, moving on, shall we, for a little bit? This is our next subject, the 48-hour birthday bash group build. So as you can see there, it starts on Friday the 25th of March 2020. The Just Giving page is open right now. We'll talk about that in a little minute. But the group build again this year is super simple. A 48 scale kit of any subject you like whatsoever, but you've got to build it within the 48 hours. So starting, as you saw on there, the live stream starts. It's not on there. You like it when that happens. The live stream will start at 7:30 on the Friday. We'll have a half-hour chat, make sure everybody's where they need to be and what they're doing. Everyone's clear on what's happening. You guys are clear on what's going on. And then the build starts in its earnest at 8 o'clock. Now, this year, I'm hoping not tempting fate, but this year we will be joined by the guys from the podcast, The Model Geeks. Hoping the On the Bench crew will be with us from Australia. Scale Model Podcast. And of course, I've not written this down, and they're going to kill me because they really will kill me. They're right to as well. Most of the podcasts that are out there on the modelling subjects will be involved. I have not sent out an invitation to everybody. Everybody that was here last year will be here, as far as I'm aware, along with, of course, our colleagues from the Netherlands who have a similar charity to Model 2 Heroes. And our challenge this year is to make them look lazy. So we've got to finish on time. We've got to go way out of the box with what we're building, and we've got to try and beat them. I don't know, tall order, because they were very good last year. So we'll see. I know Steph's on the case though. Steph's got a plan. So yeah, we're definitely going to be fighting our way through that. Now, I'm not sending out any rumours here, but I'm in chat, in conversation with a few other people who are not, they're known, but they're not massively known to us, and certainly not being involved with the birthday bash before, from such places like, for example, Japan and other places. I'm not going to say too much of that because they might not come through. So, but yes, so we are looking for a complete international broad spectrum throughout the 48 hours. Now, with that said, should go back to this message. Ian's just saying, James, are you aware the clocks changed during the build weekend? No, I didn't. Oh, why didn't I take that into account? Are they going forward or backwards? If they're going forward, we lose an hour. If they're going backwards, we gain an hour. So I'm hoping it's we gain an hour, right? I don't know. No, I wasn't, Ian. Thank you for pointing that out. That's fine. We have to work with what we've got. So they were the dates we picked. They were picked because it was my lovely wife's birthday on the Friday. So yeah, that's not good. They're going ahead. So we lose an hour. Well, we'll just have to work that in somehow, won't we? So it'll be a 49-hour build. Technically, not. Maybe. Could be. Scotty might be right. Yeah. Oh well, it's okay. It just makes it for more fun, right? And yes, thank you for pointing that out, Ian. I hadn't noticed that. Damn it. Next year we will go back to what we've done every single year. So there you go. It's not a problem. Sprue and Glue saying you're lucky. You will ahead of yourself. Yes. Yeah. So that was the hope, was that we would all build quickly and get done. But yeah, you couldn't write, could you? Yeah. Anyway. So that's thrown me completely. God, then why didn't I realise that? And more importantly, why is it not on my calendar? I should have seen that. Oh well. It's fine. It'll be a 48-ish hour build. I think it won't make any difference, will it? Let's be honest. Oh yeah, no, that's thrown me. So yes, so going back to the group build. So now, one of the reasons why I've been so away from the YouTube and all the rest of it is because I've been desperately trying to organise all this stuff, because I really want it to be a much bigger and bolder campaign this year. So the Just Giving, as I said, the Just Giving page is up and running now. and he says, oh, smooth as silk. So yeah, the Just Giving page, as you can see, it's just there. We have got 2% of our target already, so we've already had a donation. Last year our target was £1,000. This year I've been modest. £1,500 target is what I would hope for. I think, if I'm honest, I think we could smash that quite easily. That's my hope. But it's open, it's there, it's ready to rock and roll for you. I do believe it's on the mess in one of the pinned posts, but if you're not quite sure, you can see what I'm doing there. So the email address, the web address for it is justgiving.com, fundraising 48-hour group build -22. So nice and easy to find, or you can find it from my name, James Giffen. So either or. So that's there, that's up and running. Obviously, like I say, I'm not sure how we're going to do the target, but I'm hoping that we're going to do that. That would be what we did last year by a small margin. Now the difference for this year, what I'm trying to put together is we have got potentially an auction in which we're going to do. So we've had a few things that have been tentatively promised that we can auction off. So I'm hoping that during that 48-hour period we will be doing a live auction of some items. Now some of these items will be physical, i.e. a kit maybe. Some of these items will be vouchers, so a voucher that you can use by spending on a certain website. And some of them items will be donated, but they won't be sent out by me, they'll be sent out by the donator. So we have a few businesses that are they're not committed, but they have suggested they were happy to get involved, and I'm just waiting for the confirmation of all of that. Obviously I've left it for over the New Year period so everyone can get back on their feet, because obviously New Year and Christmas is very busy, and I'm just starting to get some conversations with that going on right now. So yeah, I will keep you posted. That's the plan. There will be an auction. There definitely will be some potential giveaways in which we'll be doing as well throughout the 48-hour, and we'll see how that goes. So I'm just looking at the chat. Yeah, all up to date. So the other thing in which, if you've not got your kit yet that you want to build, one of the things that I've done with Sprue Box is I have done this. So if you go onto the Sprue Box website, that's www.spruebox.co.uk, that is my website, and purchase any 1/48 scale kit, I will donate 10% of that purchase price to Models for Heroes. Now all of that will be tallied up and put in one payment during the weekend. So that offers ongoing for up to the build. So obviously a week before the build, so the 20th of March, shall we say, you can place your orders through us, and 10% of whatever it costs you will go to Models for Heroes. Now our 48 scale range is growing, and will be growing over the next week or so with a few more options and choices. But if there's anything particularly you're after, or you've got a mind to buy, let me know, and if I can get it in from one of the suppliers, then you can by all means do that, and we can give 10% to the charity. So that will help potentially a little bit with our target. I don't suppose it'll be an awful lot, but we'll see. You've probably all looking through your stash already, been looking. Maybe some of you have planned from last year. I know some of the podcast guys have definitely been quite on it. So by all means use that if you wish to. I try and do the best prices I can, but if you can get it cheaper, etc., that's fine. I totally understand. One thing I should say as well, though, there is a code on there for free postage for purchases over £40 as well. So yeah, have a look, see what you think, and if we can help that and add a little bit to our total philosophy heroes, that's great. So that's that. Yeah, so that's the plan for the 48-hour build. I haven't got any more news per se. I'm working on lots of little different angles and stuff that we trying to put together, but it's difficult knowing exactly what we're going to put together at the moment. The On the Bench guys, I spoke to them last week, and they're mulling over exactly how they're going to get involved and what they're going to do. And I understand, because they're obviously, the time difference is quite different, then that can be quite difficult. But what I'm hoping, because we'll have lots of people around the world that are all in different time zones, that should help the scheduling for the actual live stream. So the live stream will be in 4-hour blocks, and every 4 hours we'll have a host. It may be the same host, might not, but you'll have different people within that 4-hour slot. That's the idea, and the reason for that is not because we've got loads and loads and loads of people to fit in. We've got quite a few, but it's more to encourage you guys to make sure you take a break as well. Especially doing the live streams, it can be quite difficult doing everything together. So yeah, that's the idea. We're going to do that, but by doing the 4 hours as well, I'm hoping to twist some arms for people around the world to get involved and be a little bit more involved in the productional side of it, so that they don't have to build in the GMT time zone. They can build in their own time zone, and we can just go live to them at that time. But we've got that to work out, and obviously with the clocks going forward and all the other stuff, that's all still got to be worked out. But that's the plan. So that's what I'm hoping. Gerald, thank you very much for putting that post in to remind me whether it's going ahead or backwards. Appreciate that. I didn't acknowledge your name at the time, so I apologise. And hi, thank you very much. We've also got Hugh saying good evening or evening, and John Mayfield is there saying greetings, peeps. Greetings indeed. So yeah, as I expected, not that many people watching, but that's fine. It was a very spur of the moment sort of thing. I didn't plan to be on very long, so that's the 48-hour build explained. The mess. Now, going back to the mess, there are some things I want to do in the coming year, but the mess needs to fund itself to a point. Now, that sounds a bit odd. Obviously, over the last few years, I've done all the trophies and all the medallions, all that sort of stuff, out my own pocket for everybody, which it's been nice to do. I've got a lot of joy out of doing that, but work is intensive at the moment. I think would be the right phrase, because we're going through a few changes and stuff. Work, not me, and I'm not quite sure where the future is going on that. So the reason I mention that is because we do have this. So yeah, buy me a coffee. It's used in different ways. Obviously, those that know me know that I do the podcast, and we use it through the podcast. And all that is there for, it's not for me to make a stream of income so I can give up my job or anything like that. It's just purely to add a little bit of extra bits, if you like, to the Model Office Mess Facebook group, YouTube, etc. There are other streams and ways in which I can fund things, but last year wasn't very good at that. So if you feel that you've had something out of the mess over the last years or so that we've been doing it, 6 years, 6-year birthday, isn't it, I think. And you feel that you want to throw a couple of coffees in there for going towards the Model of the Year trophy and all that sort of thing, please do. Any little bit helps. I'm not begging, and if no one does, I won't be offended or upset. It's fine. It's just there if you want to. Now, if everyone goes completely mad, on the other hand, and there becomes lots of funds in there, then obviously I can utilize that in some way, where that maybe we can do extra group builds or sporadic bits and pieces or giveaways or something. So yeah, by all means use that if you want to. That's fine. Now, obviously, we've talked about the Sprue Box, which is buying. I've been completely upfront about that. It's not it's an additional thing. Basically, it's something I've always wanted to do, and I sat in the garden last year and thought to myself, at the age I am, when am I going to do it, and why aren't I doing it? And I just thought, you know what, let's just do it, see what happens. So it's got a 3-year plan, and if it does anything in that 3 years, great, it will carry on, and if it doesn't, then it will just be closed up. So I'm hoping that it does enough to pay for itself. As I say, it's part of my hobby now. It's a lot of work, but yeah, it's a part of my hobby, and I don't see it as a full-time employment option. Certainly not at the moment, and not without a little bit more oomph in its approach. So the reason I mention that is because Sprue Box will be popping up here and there. I can announce tonight that Sprue Box will be at some point doing a couple of things with the Saturday Night Crash when Carl, Steve and I are back, and we've managed to get that up and running. There will be a couple of giveaways or something along those lines. So that's something to look out for. Sprue Box will sponsor that. And we hopefully will have some launches this year in which we may be doing some giveaways as well. So watch out for it. If you can help me by promoting it to your friends as another option for them to purchase their model kits, etc., I would be very, very grateful. And it will certainly help me. But more, if it's successful, the more successful it is, the more I can share that success within the community. So we'll see how it does. So if you weren't sure, this is what I'm talking about.
Turn loose your imagination by visiting the Sprue Box for your model making needs at www.spruebox.co.uk.
Yes, today is all about trying out different things that are all new. Hence, no one said anything, but hence that's why there's a bit of music in the background as well. We're trying that too. So I hope you can hear that. Is it annoying? Is it just loud enough for you to be in the back of your ears? Let me know. So, any questions? I mean, there's a lot of information I've given. Everything's quite simple in as much as the group builds. As I say, it's what's that? That's 2, 4, 5 headings for your categories, but 10 or 11, in fact, 11 types of things in which you can build throughout the year and get yourself into the group build. And then obviously that's not including the Model of the Year contest, which is there. Now, actually, what I'm thinking about the Model of the Year contest, I must remind myself. Basically, the Model of the Year contest last year was won, and was very kindly, mainly because of the distance involved. It wasn't given back, but what happened was it was suggested that it was not posted out to the winner, and used in a different format. So I'm pleased to say, because of that, and because of that person's Scott Gillard, I believe, was the winner. Oh God, I hope I got that right. He suggested that we utilise the trophy for youth, hence why we've got the youth building in progress this year. And the winner I can announce tonight of that for last year is actually 2 people. And that the trophy will be sent out to Paige and Connor Williamson, who entered the 48-hour group build last year. Thoroughly enjoyed themselves, as far as I know, but they've also got a trophy hidden their way as well. That'll be sent out really soon. I have spoken to Lewis, so if Lewis is lurking in the background, he will be aware, because obviously they are the children of Lewis, and that was chosen and decided by the winner that you guys all voted for. And purely because they live in the other side of the world, they were concerned about the postage and they didn't want us to incur lots of costs. So that's that. However, what he doesn't realise, because I haven't told him yet, and he's going to announce right now, is we are actually going to sort him out a voucher. Because he's been so generous, I'm going to sort him out a voucher that will be for him to use in a local store to him. So that's coming your way. Congratulations. Thank you very much for entering the Model of the Year. And obviously we're doing the same this year. So, yeah, worth getting involved. Stuart's just popped in, saying good evening. Good evening, Stuart. Yeah, we're just having a chat tonight, Stuart. You can watch us on Rewind if you want a little bit later. We're just covering what's going on in the mess. We've talked about the group builds. We talked about the 48-hour build, which I hope is going to be immense. Let's go back to the 48-hour group build for a minute or two. What I do want to ask people is, and this covers the youth side of things as well, is that if you've got family, young family, try and involve them as a family event over that weekend. You don't have to do the whole 48 hours, because trying to get children to sit down for a whole 48 hours is a bit of a nightmare. And I wouldn't want to do that. And when I'm saying children, I'm talking about the older type. Give you stress. The younger, you're not going to do that. That's fine. But obviously, for the younger, choose your kits wisely. There are a few 148 kits out there that you can get, which have got a few parts counts. You've also got your clip together ones as well. So because of that, obviously, it doesn't have to be 148 kit. It sounds a bit weird, right? But if you've got a 7-8-year-old who wants to join in, and you want to put a clip together kit, fine. As long as they paint it and do something with it, it's fine. I don't mind at all. Just want to get them involved. We did, if you remember going back 5 years ago, maybe, we did do a family weekend. This is where all this birthday thing started from a family weekend. And we did have families get involved, so it's worth thinking about. So anyway, yeah, so I've been rattling on for 43 minutes. Can you believe that? Amazing, right? So I'm going to wrap up now. Thank you, everybody that's watched and listened to my waffle. Thank you for anyone that is watching this on Twitter. Not Twitter, Twitcher. Stay tuned on Twitcher, because there will be some exclusive stuff coming out on that channel in the very near future. And obviously, thank you very much for all the support you've given us throughout the year. I am very, very grateful for all of that. So just to remind you, obviously the group builds we've discussed, all the categories and the albums, reveal albums are already up. Make sure you take the time and some trouble to say to Scott Gentry, who is our new group builds admin, welcome in to it. Any questions, of course, just drop him a note asking him, etc. That's all fine. That's slightly written badly, that was, so I apologise. Just to remind you again, the best build is what we'd use for the banner. Last Tuesday of every month. And of course, the 48-hour group build starts on Friday, the 25th of March at 7 GMT. It's actually 7:30, James Wally, 7:30, and then the build starts at 8 o'clock. See, I'm already losing time. It would start. And of course, like I said to you, the Sprue Box have offered free postage over £40 over purchases over £40, and 10% of that purchase is donated to Models for Heroes as part of the 48-hour build. So, yeah, it's going to be an exciting one. I'm hoping it's gonna all go very nicely. Any questions? I'm just seeing there. Stuart saying, I'm interested in the 48-hour build. I'm off shift as well, but we'll be busy running kids around with the clubs, etc. Oh, well, like I just said, you could potentially get something nice and easy for you to sit down for a couple of hours and have a family group build. Try and figure a way around it, Stuart. We'll see. But if you can't build yourself, be sure to join in the live streams and say hello. Dad's there from Scaly Models saying good evening, James. Evening, Scaly. I've got to get off because E-Model's going to be on there any minute. But it's nice to see you. Thank you for popping in. And there's Scotty himself saying, nice to see you all. I'll be around when needed. Yeah, he'll be there. Or just drop him a message in the mess. Any questions or concerns, flag it up with him, and he'll be up and running. So as I say, group builds start in a few hours on the 1st of February, midnight onwards. So by all means, get your posts in there, do your group builds, and have a good one. So until, as soon as I did that, hey, Plastic Monkey's there, saying bye. Hello, goodbye. Scale Model News wanders in and sets the coffee pot down. Hey, all. How you doing, mate? All right. We're about to finish, unfortunately. It's only a short one tonight. It was just literally a quick rundown of everything we're going to do and be doing this year. So if you can't get involved in anything else, please get involved with the 48-hour build. Please remember to donate and make sure you absolutely go out of your way to throw it around everywhere. Pummel everyone with it, advertise the bejesus out of it, because we need it to do well, and we need it to go past where we were last year. Like I said, it's only about £500 difference from last year, so we should be able to do it. We'll see. Plastic Monkey's just saying, I've been here all the time, just lurking. Yeah, you're always lurking in the background, you are, I know. Yeah, I missed it. Kitchen was a disaster. That's all right, mate. It's not a problem. There's always rewind. Not a problem at all. But anyway, thank you very much for everyone that's being with me, and we will also be doing, I'm going to try and do a monthly update for the mess, a little bit like this, just sit down and chat. But I'll keep you posted on that. Until next time, take care all.